Bucks.
And we are back with another episode of Straight Out the Lou. As always, I'm Dylan, joined by Luke and Chris. And today we are coming to you after Game 3 of the NBA Finals, in which the Bucks blew out the Suns. Also on today's episode, we have the Red Sox and Giants going into the All-Star Break, both leading their divisions, with the Giants having the best record in baseball. Will this hold up? And then the Lightning, a couple weeks ago, rolled through the Stanley Cup Finals to their second consecutive Stanley Cup. And then later in the episode, we will have a little bit of NFL offseason recap to catch you guys up on. Okay, so last night, Giannis becomes the third player, I believe actually, to go for 40 points and 10 rebounds in back-to-back finals games. Took over the game and blew out the Suns last night in the first home game at Pfizer Forum for the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Finals. Do you guys think the Bucks can pull off this comeback?
Yes, absolutely. Well documented. I predicted the Milwaukee Bucks to win the championship for the season and was brutally ridiculed on this podcast by multiple personalities.
To be fair, last episode you did take that statement back, but continue.
Well, no, it's all about what you predicted at the beginning of the season. That take did not count in the last episode. But listen, if Giannis keeps playing the way he is and they can get competent contributions from Middleton, Holiday, and Lopez, at least 2 out of 3 of them every night, I think they'll win this series. They did not get that game 2. It was Giannis and nobody else. But, last night the others are a little bit better. Maybe that's because they were at home. But they're going to have to get one on the road here at some point, and I think they do. I think Middleton has a great Game 5. And I think the Bucks win the next 3 games, to be honest. I think they're just a better team overall.
Drew Holiday sucks. Drew Holiday's the guy holding them back here.
Well, maybe. The Suns' bench might be better, but I'm looking at the top 4 players. I'll take the Bucks. I think they're the better team.
No, they're not the better team. Game 3 was an expected blowout win. I mean, it's the NBA. You knew it was going to happen. Suns played really well games 1 and 2, of course. Devin Booker struggled heavily Game 3. I think that's not great for the Bucks. I think he's going to be pretty motivated coming out in Game 4. And obviously, this is the game of the series right here. I mean, this is a must-win for Milwaukee. They were not out-hustled in Game 3 like they were in games 1 and 2 in Phoenix outside of Giannis, who was a beast in those games. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a good series. I think it's definitely going 6 or 7. I still like Phoenix, though. I mean, they're just a well-rounded basketball team. They play the game very well. And DeAndre Ayton and that wall they create, it's been all right so far. I mean, I feel like most of Giannis's points have been second-chance opportunities, and he hasn't really been hurting them in transition. So I think the Suns have been playing pretty well. Expected Game 3 loss, but Game 4 obviously is going to tell us what games 5 and 6 are going to be like. And I'll stay with the Suns in 6.
Yeah, I think Suns in 6 is probably the safe bet. I do like the Bucks and where they're trending, though. But, if Drew Holiday sucks like he did games 1 and 2, I mean, let's see here. You want a combined 11 for 35 shooting from the floor in those 2 games, they're not going to win because you're just going to key off Giannis slashing, and then the only shooter you have to defend is Middleton to really win the game, right? Last night, though, Holiday shoots 50% from the floor. No, 50% from 3, 57% from the floor. I mean, you just need somebody who can get some type of reliable shot off outside of Middleton because Giannis can't shoot. I mean, when he was shooting those threes against or in the conference finals, I mean, that was like ridiculous. Like, how are you letting him do that? I mean, but you need somebody. You need somebody else, though. Yeah, he missed a bunch. Yeah, but you need somebody to take those shots. And if Drew Holiday is not going to take them, then there's nobody to take them, right? So I think the series really rests on the shoulders of Drew Holiday, which is kind of wild to say, but I mean, it seems like when you look at the stats and the numbers, they line up with that.
Suns' top 4 players are far better than Milwaukee's. I mean, obviously you have Giannis.
That's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard.
Paul, Booker, Ayton, and Bridges.
The top 2, I mean, Giannis is the best player in the series, and Paul, whoever you want to put
Middleton's
second, Paul or
4th.
Booker, is better than Middleton. But after that, Drew Holiday and Brooke Lopez, I'll take over DeAndre Ayton, and I don't
No,
even know,
absolutely
Mikal
not.
Bridges.
No, absolutely
What?
not. You're not taking Brooke Lopez over DeAndre Ayton. No, absolutely.
No, I'm not. I didn't say that. I said him and
Just
Drew
did.
Holiday over DeAndre Ayton and Mikal Bridges, or wherever you want to put.
You can't hang your hat on Drew Holiday, man. You can't do that.
He's better than Mikal Bridges. I mean, I'm sorry.
Not better than DeAndre Ayton.
If you look at those two combined, Lopez and Holiday, I'll take over Ayton and Bridges every single time.
No, because those are two mediocre guys. Ayton is on his way to superstardom, I think.
He's a solid player.
No.
He's
him and Booker going forward as a little Shaq and Kobe duo. No,
I don't know about that.
I think Ayton's a stud.
He's good. I'd like to bring something up though. I've taken part in it, a lot of it. The Giannis slander. When he plays poorly or shoots poorly, and I get it. He's not a great shooter. But is Chris Paul, though, the most babied player in the NBA by the media? This guy gets no flack at all. He plays bad. It's somebody else's fault. The guy has never won anything in his entire career and has gotten no flack for it his entire career. And I didn't hear anything after Game 3 about where was Chris Paul. The only thing I heard was where was Devin Booker. I haven't heard anything about Chris Paul, and I think the media needs to step up on that.
Well, because the media loves to portray him as the point guard, right? So if he's not scoring, then they're like, oh, he's doing everything else on the court well, right? Which is not the case, obviously, all the time.
And also, if you take a look at Game 2, I mean, the Suns had a commanding lead. Devin Booker was on fire, and then all of a sudden they're just going to give the ball to Paul for like 6 straight possessions, or like once, maybe.
Yeah.
It just baffled me. I was like, why is the ball not going to Devin Booker right now? It just doesn't make sense. But totally right. Chris Paul's absolutely babied. It's annoying, but he's good. You're right though. He gets babied.
I have issue with something that was said in the media by, not the most reputable source, but a source who's on a lot of major outlets nonetheless. So you have Kendrick Perkins the other day. I showed you guys this video. Big Perk. He's not a sheep. He doesn't follow the rest of the analysts, right? He's a Jaguar. Big Perk's a Jaguar. So this guy comes out of the trees with this fire take, right? He says that the Suns are an up-and-coming dynasty. Obviously, this is after Game 2 when they did just go up 2-0. But, I mean, come on, right? Okay. Booker, young, talented, great scorer, going to be a superstar for time to come, for sure. Ayton is a little early to say with him, but his playoff run so far has been pretty eye-opening. He's been playing pretty well. But a dynasty, I mean, it's definitely a jump, right?
Listen. I've been on the Suns since, January. One of the earliest bandwagon fans out there, one of the earlier guys. But listen, I mean, I still believe that if a fully healthy Lakers team, and this isn't anything like towards like trying to help LeMickey out or anything, but I still think the Lakers beat the Suns if that team's fully healthy.
I think a fully healthy Clippers team beats the Suns.
Yeah.
Probably.
But the Lakers would have beat them before in round 1.
Yeah, definitely. Right? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I don't think the Clippers ever had a chance just because of the momentum the Suns built. Even if you're going to put Kawhi in potentially, I probably would have picked the Suns. But you have an argument. But I think, yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Suns fan. But what's a dynasty in the NBA? 3 out of 5?
Probably
3 out of 5, 3 out of 6.
I mean, what were the Warriors? They went 3 out of 5, right?
They were 3 out of 5, but they were also in the finals every year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's going to be tough for them to create a dynasty with Paul being so old. I mean, obviously he's so dynamic and he's so good. I mean, but like Booker and Ayton are a fine duo, but I mean, they were the 9 seed last year. This isn't like, I mean, they've definitely gotten a lot better. They're not, Big Perk. That's a horrible take. I'm sorry. You got so many good teams in the NBA. The Suns are one of them. They're just
especially in the West.
I don't think there's any dynasties right now in the NBA because I think the Warriors are going to be back next year, whether they're going to be in the finals, whatever you want to say. They're going to be back. They're top 3 team. The Lakers, the Clippers, the Jazz, the Suns. Like that's a stacked conference.
The Nuggets will have Jamal Murray back. I mean, yeah, it's definitely an interesting take. I can't say I agree with it right now. It's a little too early. Something else that came out of NBA news today was that the Warriors have had internal discussions regarding a trade for Damian Lillard. They would potentially trade James Wiseman, Andrew Wiggins, among some other players and possibly picks to the Trailblazers in exchange for Damian Lillard. As a Warriors fan, I'm not super hot on this news, but I don't think it would be the worst thing. It really all comes down to Klay Thompson's mobility and agility coming off the injury. I mean, he's a 6'6" guy. He could probably play the three decently well. And having Dame Lillard, Steph, and Klay all off the ball with Draymond running point guard, not many teams are going to be able to defend those off-ball screens and have to account for both Dame Lillard and Steph Curry. But I don't know. What do you guys think as an unbiased perspective here?
I think it would be awesome for the Warriors. I mean, anytime you can get another superstar, you take it. And, I mean, I don't really think there's anything that trade, Wiseman and Wiggins, and I mean, like, come on. I don't know why Portland's taking that. And I don't think Portland's trading him really for much of anything unless they get an offer they absolutely cannot turn down. But I don't think James Wiseman and Andrew Wiggins is going to do it for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's intriguing. We've never seen anything like it before in the NBA with those three guards. I mean, all sharpshooting guards and stuff. But as an NBA fan, I mean, in the Warriors system, it's different because if you said you had Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, and Klay Thompson, it's like, oh well, there's only one basketball. But I mean, the Warriors system is good enough where they spread the ball out, they move the ball, and emphasize ball movement. So I think it could work. I mean, I think Kawhi, as I said earlier, is still the guy that you guys probably want to target. That's the top guy. But I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you take Dame Lillard for Wiseman and Wiggins? And solid players, but come on now. It's what you need to win in the NBA. You need superstars.
Yeah, I agree, but I know you guys don't like this take, or at least Chris, I know you don't, but I think Wiseman could really be a superstar. I think he could be. His defense needs to get going a little bit. But for him, I think it's all about confidence and just getting the reps because this guy has not played a lot of basketball. I mean, at Memphis, he played 2 games, COVID, all that stuff, He just hasn't really played a lot. This guy's our age. He's 19, right?
Who's a superstar center? Embiid, Jokic. Those are the only 2 superstar centers. So you're saying he can get to that potential?
I think why not? As number 2 pick, he has a lot of upside. He is probably up there. He's up there for the over 7-foot slashers, like most effective. I mean, he's pretty good at slashing to the rim there.
His ceiling is Robert Williams.
That's a harsh take.
Listen, I mean, Wiseman had a tough year. He was injured for sure. He's got a couple excuses you can use. I mean, but he just didn't play that good either. I mean, it's kind of both. I mean,
the big thing for him was getting in foul trouble. It wasn't so much his offensive play. I mean, his post game, his defense was really bad. But his post game just showed flashes. I mean, as a rookie center in the NBA, that's all you want, flashes, right? That's what happened with Ayton, and Ayton's on his way up. He's dunking really well, and he's comfortable enough to take threes as a rookie.
One. I hope he's dunking.
Yeah, no, of course. But he's confident. He's confident enough to take the threes and to take the jump shots, which, I like that from a rookie. I mean, big man, 7'1".
Yeah, reminds me of a prime Romeo Langford. But Wiseman, he's good. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. But it's just, would you want a solid Wiseman and a kind of a role player Wiseman for the next 3 to 4 years in Curry's end of his prime? Or would you just go get Dame Lillard? And I think the answer is go get Dame Lillard because it's pretty easy to rebuild in the NBA, especially in a big market like the Golden State Warriors have now, where they can sign free agents pretty easily.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see it play out. Last thing on it is that Joe Lacob did say he didn't see any problems with Wiseman's season, and he is the owner of the team. So, anyways, transitioning to the MLB, the Red Sox and Giants both finishing at the top of their divisions. Giants, best record in baseball, just swept the Nationals going into the All-Star break. We'll start with the Red Sox, though. What have you guys liked? What have you guys not liked? Chris, I know the cliff is coming, but when is it coming?
Well, listen, I have a lot of issues with this team. I will say they've overachieved many of my expectations. But this past week has put my thoughts on their season. That I'm a more bitter taste in my mouth now. Because let's be honest here, this team is not that good. The Rays are going to win this division. They're the better team. You look at the Red Sox pitching staff. Eduardo Rodriguez needs to be better. Nathan Eovaldi he should not be an all-star. That's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. He's been extremely inconsistent this year. Pivetta sucked yesterday, kind of inconsistent. Martin Perez, they cap Martin Perez at 70 pitches every time he pitches. So I don't know if he's even a starter for us. And Garrett Richards is a bum. So they have issues in the starting rotation. I'm still concerned about the bullpen, even though it's been pretty good. Matt Barnes, one of the worst relievers in the history of Major League Baseball, yet we just signed him to a contract extension. He's an all-star, but he's blown 4 saves before the All-Star break. No idea how he's an all-star. We got some other guys that can't throw strikes in the bullpen. And the lineups, honestly, Kike Hernandez, leadoff hitter, still don't understand that. He sucks. Bobby Delbeck sucks. Vasquez needs to start hitting better. Verdugo needs to start hitting better.
The big loss, the hamstring.
Yeah, and I was looking. The Cubs are apparently thinking about trading Anthony Rizzo. I think they should go for it because, and honestly, if the Red Sox are so concerned about not trading prospects in the minor leagues like Jeter Downs or whatever, trade Delbeck for him. I don't care if it's a rental. Bobby Delbeck is a bum. And he is not going to be able to hit at the major league level, especially at any sort of success other than hitting out of the 8th spot for an average team. Anthony Rizzo, bring him in. The Red Sox have gotten so lucky this year in one-run games and comebacks and stuff. This is the year they have to attack because they're not getting this lucky again. So go get Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll reiterate what Chris said. Exceeded our expectations. I mean, we were hoping for 159-3. It looks promising. It looked pretty promising, but didn't happen. Still for top of the division right now, though. 2 bad series since the Red Sox Twitter handler tweeted out. I don't know if you saw this, Chris, but he tweeted out 6 days ago. He tweeted, we have your receipts from the first weekend. And ever since then, the Red Sox have now lost series to the Angels and the Phillies.
Yeah,
the Phillies, by the way, who Aaron Nola came down with COVID 5 minutes before his start.
And I was going to ask you, Luke, I wonder if they're going to be looking at the receipts when they lose to the A's in the wild card game. I wonder if they'll be looking at the receipts after that. Wow, we made it to the playoffs for 1 game. Excellent job.
Trust me, they definitely won't. If they make it to the wild card game and the team they play is the A's, they definitely won't lose because that team throws up on themselves every time they play in the wild card game. So, but yeah, so solid start to the season. Happy, overachieved for sure. First thing I look at, that Benintendi deal was, wow, that was great. What a move there from the front office. What is he hitting, like 290 with Kansas City? And the franchises, I mean, the Woo Sox tickets are hot right now in Worcester. Everybody wants to go see the franchise. Wow. I mean, what a big bat they got. So they got to trade him.
He's at like 360 in Worcester.
It actually is pretty remarkable what he's doing in Worcester, but still not good enough for the majors. I love Chavis in the 9-hole. I mean, just provides such a spark. Those 3 pitches he sees every AB. It's great. And then, man, Danny Santana getting hurt. Such a part of this team. Oh, my God. An everyday guy hitting 165 in the lineup. I mean, I don't know how they're going to replace that at the deadline. That's brutal. And, you got Verdugo, Martinez, Bogarts. Devers, the most overrated player in baseball right now. I mean, I haven't seen – I mean, has he hit a ball the other way in the last 2 weeks? Did he hit a ball to left field?
Seriously, he's hitting 280. Let's not act like this. Everybody acts like he's hitting 400. And he plays some of the worst defense you've ever seen. He made his team-high 13th error. That's another thing. I cannot stand watching this team make 1 or 2 errors at least.
Oh, the outfield's amazing, though. The outfield
is good. Unreal. The infield is awful. Vasquez has made his share of errors. We had Ottavino throwing the ball over the guy's head yesterday. They made 3 yesterday. It is a complete an utter joke, their defense. They are dead last in the league in fielding percentage.
The Red Sox, we'll finish this up so we can get to the Giants, but the Red Sox are they're a leadoff hitter and a first baseman away in the lineup in the defensive side, and they're a relief pitcher and probably 2 starters. You're going to get one back with Sale, but they're probably 2 starters back for winning a World Series or competing for a World Series. They don't have enough talent in the bullpen to win a World Series, I think, and clearly the leadoff spot's been an issue. I think Kike Hernandez has been a fine player for the team, but I mean, to be a leadoff hitter on a championship team is a different thing. So I mean, I'm on a Kike hater. I think he's been playing really well recently too. I mean, he's the reason why they've won some of these games recently. I mean, or else they would have got swept by Oakland probably. But yeah, I mean, solid start. Just don't tell us to keep our receipts from start of the year. Like let's act like let's win a playoff series or something first before we're crowning ourselves AL East champs at the deadline or whatever they want.
Yeah, so what's the move at the deadline with this team? Do they go for the Reynolds and Rizzo, or a guy who could lead off for them for the rest of the year, or what? Or do they look more long term, or is it a rental deal?
I've heard names. Whit Merrifield, of course. He's available. I think he could be a guy that can address the second base everyday spot, which is kind of in and out with Arroyo and Gonzalez. You never really know. And I mean, I didn't even know about Rizzo until now, but that makes sense because I heard the Cubs were shopping. So I'd be in for Rizzo. I mean, at this moment, I'd be in for almost any first baseman that can pick up the ball and get on base. You don't need to hit, I mean, like 320 or, I mean, I know Rizzo's having a down year on the average side, but anybody that can play an above average defensive first base and get on base out of like the 6 to the 7 hole.
Yeah. Rizzo and Craig Kimbrell apparently is also on the market.
No.
And as you said for second base, if they brought in Whit Merrifield, that means in any clutch situation that they had, they could bring up Christian Arroyo to hit because he hits a home run in every single clutch situation. So that would be great. He wouldn't have to play every day. He could just come up in those spots.
Yeah, no, we'd have a good pinch hitter, and then we'd have a better bench. We'd have more depth on the bench with guys like a lot of talent with Santana and I mean, how is Chavis still on the team? I don't get that.
He is maybe the worst. Actually, sorry. Santana. I think Santana is worse than him, but Chavis is so bad. I don't understand what they see in him. Like, he had that one good week at his rookie year, and he is just blown ever since.
He's really bad. It's not even like he doesn't do anything
to get out. Is bad too.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly off the steroids that he got popped for in the minors somehow. I don't know how he couldn't hide in the minor league.
With the Sea Dogs, he was electric in Portland.
Well, of course, because he was on the roids, and now he looks like he's like 12 up at the plate. I don't know. I haven't been impressed, but I mean, we're fine. We're fine. If we win a playoff series, I'll be very, very happy. Because I think next year is the year, or the next 2 years are important. That's all.
Red Sox Giants World Series still intact. The Giants looking very hot. Although I did have a nightmare last night that I told you guys about, where Gossman completely fell off. I think he gave up 8 earned runs in his next start, but it's a nightmare. It's not a prediction in the future. Although we do often speak things into reality on this podcast, so I probably shouldn't have said it. But anyways,
you might have just.
Well, you look at the Giants. Obviously, a bunch of old guys overachieving. I think a lot of it has to do with health. I mean, in the years that they've been very, very bad, they have been a very unhealthy team. But for me, I mean, you look at everybody on this roster, and the X factor, the guy who I think is delivering the most wins and contributing the most to this team, has to be Brandon Crawford. It has to be. He's playing the best defense of his career, arguably. He's, 34, 35. He's hitting, I think, almost like 290 right now. He has 17 or 18 bombs, and he has, I think, just under 60 RBIs at the break. As a shortstop, he's playing some of the best defense of his career.
I agree. I was hoping you were going to say Crawford.
It's crazy. It's unreal. I mean, Posey's right there as well. He's hitting around 320. Home runs are, low teens. But he's playing great defense still. But, the one thing that frustrates me about this team is that there isn't a whole lot of consistency in the starting lineup. There's a lot of guys rotating through. There's Duggar, Ruff, Vossler, Lamonte Wade's been sent up and down like 2 times. Then he gets everyday starting spot at first base for a week straight. It's a little bit too hectic for me. I think most teams in the MLB have a little more consistency if they're really going to make a real push, but they've made it work so far. They've proved me wrong in that regard. The discomfort has led to more wins. But the big thing going forward, I think, will be some sort of consistency in the lineup because it's a lot of different guys contributing at different times. It's very, very timely hitting. There's not a lot of consistent hitting outside of Posey and Crawford on this team. It's very timely. Having Longoria back after the break will be really nice. He's still dealing with some oblique thing right now. And, you want to let the old guys rest. You don't want them to strain it anymore. So let him rest. But getting him back will be very big, very, very big. It will open up a lot of more bench options. But the bullpen has come around. That was the big concern early on. They have Leone coming out and shutting things down as a middle relief guy, and then going to Tyler Rogers for the setup spot. It's been pretty good this year. And then McGee, not my favorite as a closer, not my favorite. Throws a very flat fastball that he doesn't like to throw for strikes a lot. But when he does work the corners, which he does probably 1 out of every 2 or 3 starts, he's very efficient, good at getting outs. Not a huge strikeout guy, which I usually like to see more out of my closing pitchers, but I'll take it. And I think, I'm riding high on the Giants. It's a little concerning they can't beat the Dodgers right now, but they're doing what good teams in the MLB need to do, which is beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. So as long as they keep doing that, they're going to still have, around a 600 winning percentage most likely and ride high into the playoffs, probably as the number 1 wild card team. I think that's probably my prediction at this point. Probably not a division winner, but, I also said they probably wouldn't be making the playoffs game 1, so.
Yeah, I've watched my fair share of Giants games. They're a well-rounded team. They're kind of like the opposite kind of the Red Sox where their star talent's in the rotation, not in the lineup.
Yeah.
So, which is, I think, better. I think it's a better situation you want to be in. And you were talking about those role players. They have so many role guys that just come in and step up, like Talkman and Duggar and Wade. Like, the Duggar dude's insane.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen that guy get
300
out.
right now. And
Never seen him get out. And then Yaz is getting more healthy as the weeks go by here, which is good. He's getting back out of his slump.
Yeah.
I think the Giants will address the bullpen at the deadline. It doesn't need to be a superstar. Just get another arm in there.
They just need one more.
It's been a problem all year. And then I've heard a lot of Trevor Story rumors about the Giants. I know he's not going to play short probably. They're probably not going to take Crawford out of the shortstop role. But, Trevor Story to this team could be a huge addition.
Yeah. And then you could do Solano as a pinch hitter. I don't know, maybe do something with the outfield a little different. But I think it would be nice to have Story for sure. But one last thing about the Giants before we move on to a couple predictions for the awards for this season. It is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, trash, blasphemy that Anthony DeSclafani is not an all-star. This guy's 10-3 with a 2.6 ERA and 107 innings pitched with a 1.00 whip, and he is not an all-star this year. Robbery. Anyways, let's get into some predictions real quick. We have 10 minutes left here. Let's get into some quick predictions, MVP, Cy Young picks for both leagues.
Yeah, I'll start off here. I'm going to go with the MVP in the American League, Vlad Guerrero Jr. The guy just is a beast in the box. I think that's the sure pick. I'm going to stay with Garrett Cole in the American League for the Cy Young. He proved this Saturday, I believe it was, that the no spider tack for him was not a problem as he went 9 innings against the Astros. And then in the National League, I think DeGrom right now is the favorite for both the MVP and the Cy Young. Tatis, I think, is second in the MVP voting. Just a fact, Chris. You're just wrong because he's 7-2. So you got nothing. You got nothing anymore against DeGrom. You can't do it.
Dylan, you can go ahead.
Okay. AL Cy Young, I'm going to have to go with Cole, too. Before the spider tack ban, the guy was lights out. After, a little bit of a struggle, but like you said, last start came back out and showed that it's not the biggest worry in the world. And then, MVP, I'm going to have to go Guerrero. I just don't think that Ohtani as a DH can really win the MVP. I mean, I know Guerrero's a DH, but he's doing everything as a hitter. Huh?
He's hitting 279. Guerrero's hitting 340 with like the same amount of home runs.
Exactly. He's doing more as a hitter. So I'm going to have to go with him. I don't think Ohtani's – and people say Cy Young for Ohtani. He's too wild. He's too all over the place. And then NL, a sleeper pick, if he really keeps up the pace, I think could be Crawford. But I'm probably going to have to go Tatis there. And then Cy Young, DeGrom, obviously. Chris, you go.
Yeah, American League MVP, I'm going with Xander Bogaerts for carrying the sorry team to first place in the American League East. That is an accomplishment in itself. Now Lance Lynn is my Cy Young in the American League, having an incredible season for the best team in the American League right now, Chicago White Sox. Also very important if you are on a better team, that does help you in my ratings here, which is why Kevin Gausman is my Cy Young. For the Giants, best team in the league right now. Just a no doubt pick here. I've said Fernando Tatis is overrated at times, but I think right now, with where the Padres are and how everybody else is kind of struggling on that team, I would give it to him as my MVP.
Wow.
And I would also I would say Brandon Woodruff is a sleeper here for the Cy Young in the National League and honestly, that's who I'm picking to win the World Series in Milwaukee.
Wow.
It's the year of Milwaukee.
There's some crazy words coming out of Chris's mouth, especially after the beginning of the season slander of Tatis, I must say.
Well, he's a good player. He's still overrated, but he's good.
Like 320 in the last month and a half here.
I also just can't think of anybody else to win the MVP in the National League. It just
DeGrom, but Tatis. Tatis's average is skyrocketed, and this guy homers almost in every single game. It's ridiculous. This guy, he had a tough series, over 12 this weekend, but he's a beast. He'll be the face of baseball soon.
I agree. Yeah, Soto, he might pick it up, but
Soto's a good player.
He probably won't be able to keep up though, or catch up all the way.
Obviously, he's done. Acuna's done. Yeah. He's had a great year, but he's done.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, probably will be Tatis. All right, we have 6 minutes, just under 6 minutes here. What do you guys want to talk about?
I'll address it quick. The Lightning win their second Mickey Mouse championship, back-to-back years. This team's $18 million over the cap. I don't know how the NHL is letting that happen. Absolutely. Oh, Kucherov is hurt all year, and then, he's ready for game 1 of the playoffs. Are you kidding me? Absolutely ridiculous. This team, I don't know if you guys know, but in the NHL, if you have a player injured, technically you can put them on an injured list, and their money no longer counts towards the team. And they did that with 2 of their best players. And they just sat him out the whole season, and they were skating since February. And then, game 1 of the playoffs, they're just ready to go, and they're $18 million over the cap. They were the best team. They win.
Mark.
Fine. I was a huge Tampa Bay Lightning fan in the Stanley Cup final. Those Canadians, unbelievable. I cannot believe those rats made it to the Stanley Cup final. But it's over. 28 years and counting. Stay strong. Keep going, Montreal. I love it.
Yeah, great showing from the NHL playoffs there. It was fun to watch while the Bruins were in it, that's for sure. One last thing I want to talk about real quick here. Najee Harris as a top 4 fantasy running back. Top 4.
It's a reach. It's a reach, for sure. It's a rookie. We don't know. He's not established. The Steelers have been known to develop great running backs. Maybe. But it's too early. But, I'm probably going to be looking to take him in my draft. I'm not going to lie. But we'll have to see.
Yeah,
I know Chris is
out here. I'm Big Perk. I'm just a Jaguar with these takes.
Well, you're a Jaguar.
Well, aside from Derrick Henry, all you have to do is go on Google and figure out who the best what team has the best offensive line, and then pick that running back, because that's all that matters, because the running back position is the most useless position in the NFL and can be replaced by anybody.
I must say, if you were to do that, Najee Harris would be the 29th best running back in fantasy. But
Exactly.
that's not to say he's gonna be.
This is why guys like Felger and Chris can't enjoy fantasy football, because it's all about running backs. It's all that matters. So it's all that matters. So I mean, in this fantasy football scheme, it's not like outrageous to say that he could technically be top 4. But I mean, Kamara, that guy is not a great offensive line. He just catches passes.
That's not true. I mean, the Saints have like a top 10 offensive line.
All right, offensive line didn't look great in the playoffs.
I don't know, but I've looked at a guy like Sony Michel, and I got to take a look at him, and he's probably going to be in the top 4.
Dame Harris, my guy.
Yeah,
from Fenway.
We were talking to Damian Harris, seeing about the Patriots' outlook, and he said, "Wow, Cam is really." He was telling me and Dylan giving us the exclusive. Cam has been really hitting he's been throwing, I guess. So they like to start from the 20-yard line. He's been really hitting that one right on the ground, about 10 yards away. I think it's been going straight down this year, a little bit further than last year, which is good. It's a good sign, Chris. You should be fired up.
I don't even want to think about the Patriots, because I can't watch that guy throw the ball.
Well, mac and cheese is right there, ready and waiting.
The Red Sox better still be playing. Mac and cheese.
Last thing, I just want to hear Chris's standpoint on this, because I know you watched the game, or you've at least seen some of it. How about Tatum and his boys, Team USA, the other day?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that game. That was a complete and utter embarrassment to this country. That I don't care if it was an exhibition game. The team they were playing, Nigeria, give them credit. They played hard. Mike Brown, what a coach. Coaching them up. And it's still an embarrassment. And also, Jason Tatum should not be starting on this team. I know Booker is going to replace Beal in that lineup they had the other night. Bradley Beal is better than Jason Tatum. I'm sorry. And so is Booker. So they should both be starting over him. It's ridiculous that Tatum's starting, and he gets to do the post-game press conference with Pop after the game. And Pop should have been laying into the players at the press conference after the game. That was a ridiculous performance.
It was just so my heart just melted, when I saw Deuce running around with Bradley Beal's kids.
Yeah. You know what that means, Luke? That means Beal's coming to Boston.
Get the duck boats ready.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for this episode of Straight Out the Lou. Thank you for joining us.